Welcome to all of you in my channel. Today I want to discuss one of the finest story written by Geoffrey Chaucer, the Nun'n Tale. Here Geoffrey Chaucer made a great uh, story. In the Nun'n Tale, a poor widow, rather advanced in age, had a small cottage beside a grove standing in a dale. This widow led a very simple life, providing for herself and other daughters from a small farm. In a yard which she kept enclosed all around with paling and with a ditch outside it, she had a cock called Chanticleer, who was peerless in his crowing. Chanticleer was beautifully colored with a comb redder than coral and a beak as black as jet. And he had under his government seven chickens, who were his paramours, of which his favorite was Dame Peter Partilot. One morning, Chanticleer began to groan in his throat as a man who was troubled in his dream does, and Partilot, aghast, asked him what the matter was. Chanticleer replied that he had had a bad dream and prayed to God to help him to correctly interpret it. So he had dreamed that he, roaring around the yard, saw an animal lick an horn, which tried to seize his body and have him dead. The horn's color was somewhere between yellow and red, and his tail and both his ears were triple with black. Partilot mocked him, telling him that he was a coward. Partilot then argues that dreams are meaningless visions caused simply by ill humors, and quotes Cato at length to demonstrate her points. Her solution is that she will pick herbs from the yard in order to bring his humors back to normal. Chanticleer disagreed, arguing that while Cato is certainly an authority, there are many more authorities available to be read who argue that dreams are significant of good things and bad things to come. He stated the example of one man who, lying in his bed, dreamed that his friend was being murdered from his gold in an ox stall, and that his body was hidden in a dung cart. Remembering his dream, this man went to a dung cart at the west gate of the town and found the murdered body of his friend. Chanticleer then described the story of two men who were preparing to cross the sea. One of them dreamed that if he crossed the sea, the next day he would drown. He told his companion, who laughed at him and resolved to go anyway. The ship's bottom tore and his companion was drowned. Chanticleer also cited that examples of Macrobius, Croesus, and Andromache, who each had prophecies in their dream. Then, however, Chanticleer praised Partilot, asking her to speak of murder and stop all this talk of prophecy. The beauty of her face, he says, makes him feel fearless. He then quoted the proverb, Mulier East, and Hominis confuse you, translating it as woman in man's joy and all his bliss, when it actually translates woman is man's ruin. Chanticleer then flew down from his beam, called all of his hands to him, and revealed that he had found a grain lying in the yard. He then clasped Partilot to him with his wings and copulated with her until morning. When the mouth of Mars was over, Chanticleer was walking in full pride, all of his wives around him, when a coal fox broke through the hedges and into the yard. He bought his time for a while. The narrator then goes off into an aside, addressing Chanticleer and wishing that he had taken ominous counsels. Before he moves back into the tale, remaining as that his tale is of a cock. Chanticleer sang merrily in the yard and, casting his eyes among the cabbages, caught sight of the fox and would have fled. But the fox addressed him, asking where he was going and claiming to be his friend. The fox claimed to have met Chanticleer's mother and father and talked of his father's excellent singing voice and the way his father used to stretch out his neck and stand on his tiptoes before singing. The fox then asked whether Chanticleer can sing like his father, and Chanticleer stood on his tiptoes, stretches out of his neck, closed his eyes, and he began to sing. The fox grabbed him by the throat and ran off to the wood with him. The poor widow and her two daughters, hearing the cry of the chicken, ran after the fox towards the grove, and many other men and animals ran after them. Chanticleer managed to speak to the fox and encouraged him to turn to his pursuers and curse them, telling him that he was going to eat the cock. The fox agreed, but as he opened his mouth to agree, the cock broke from his mouth and suddenly and flew up high up into the tree. The fox tried to pursue him down, saying that he had been misinterpreted and that Chanticleer should fly down in order that he might tell the truth about what he had meant. But the Chanticleer knew better this time. The fox finally cursed all those who juggleth when he should hold his peace, chatters when he should hold his peace. The narrator then addresses everyone who thinks the tale is more thoroughly, asking them to take the moral of the tale rather than the tale itself, taking the fruit and letting the chaff remain. Thus ends the Nun'n tale. Thank you. If you like this video, you can subscribe. Once again, thank you very much.